What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tractor City. I'm Ashton Pierce. Today I have an LS MT226 Economy. What I'm going to do is do a whole walk around as if I were to drop this tractor off on a delivery for a new customer. Just give you kind of the rundown, maybe a little more specific, just because I want to make sure you know how to run this thing. I'm going to start out in the driver's seat. So starting, this is a diesel, so we obviously have glow plugs on here. On this guy, you're going to turn the key one notch. One notch is going to turn these glow plugs on right here. And once that light turns off, you can fire the tractor up. One thing to note, make sure your throttle's down. You don't want the throttle up when you turn the tractor on. You don't want to blow your engine up. So I always let customers know before you fire this up, or if you have somebody else driving it around, make sure they're throttling down. Since we're on that subject, same idea when you're using this yellow knob, which is your power takeoff, your PTO switch. If you have a mower on the back or anything on the back, a till or something that has that spin, make sure your throttle's down before you turn this switch, because you don't want throttled up, turn that switch and all of a sudden it breaks whatever gearbox is on the end of it. So two ideas: turning the tractor on, throttle down, using the PTO, make sure your throttle's down. So once again, diesel, we got glow plugs. On that far fender over there is going to be your diesel fill spot. On the throttle, this is controlling the power. Down here by the feet, on the right hand side, is going to be actually your hydrostat pedals. And this is going to be your forward and reverse. So when you press down on this pedal, it's going to give you more flow to it, but not necessarily more power. You're going to need to turn the throttle up. So this is like, imagine kind of like a lawnmower. So here's your throttle, our key switch we talked about, and since you're on this side now, that glow plug switch you can see right there, that first notch, that's that glow plug right there. And like I said, once the light turns off on the dash, you can fire it up, okay? And then they got a cover on it for the key. We talked about the throttle, we got the foot pedals. Coming off the fender over here, you're going to notice the loader handle. This is going to be for your front loader. And then if you want to get the image of the actual controls, it's just telling you to lift the loader up or bucket curl, bucket out. And then on that loader, there's a little latch here, and that's going to be a safety lock. So you can actually lock in that handle so you don't bump it, or you just want it locked in case kids are around, things like that. On that same fender, I had already mentioned it, but that's going to be the PTO switch, which is that yellow knob. And let's get the PTO on the back so they know what we're talking about. So right here I have a cover on it, but that's your PTO. And once again, you're running your mowers, your tillers, anything that has that spin to it, and you need to run a PTO, okay? Let's go back up to the front. On that same fender side, this tractor has a nice little holder. Say you want your cell phone in there, and then it's got a huge cup holder up top for your choice of drink. On the inside, so next to the seat, you're going to notice the blue lever, and this lever is actually going to raise and lower your 3-point arms. And then these little knobs right here, because I always get asked, these are actually settings. You can twist this knob. Say you have a mower, you drop the mower down to the ground, and that's your level that you like. You can set this knob there. Say right about there. Now every time I go to it, it's going to stop it. Now I can pull the mower back up in case I'm in a creek area or going to hit a rock, and then it's going to set right back to it. So they're just settings for the 3-point. And the 3-point controls, obviously the 3-point arms, just to point them out. Here's the bottom 2 arms. 1, 2, and this is the 3-point, the top link. That's your third arm. So the ones that lift are going to be the 2 bottom arms. They're going to lift the tractor, and this is more of a pretty much a stationary, kind of holds the pivot. And then also when you're using the implement on the back, this is going to give you that tilt. So it has like a spin on it, almost like a big bolt right here. So when you spin it out one way or the other, the implement will come in or out to give you that tilt. And then same idea for the arms. On one side, you're going to have the same idea as this bolt. You can tilt the box or mower or whatever it is at a left or right angle. So if you want to scoot back a little bit, get this box, since we have the box on there. Say your box was tilted one way or the other, right? this arm is going to give you that slant. So if you're crowning roads or you just need it level and you're trying to level it out, that's going to be the side to use. And then just because we're back here, this little bar is just a holder for your top link. So if we weren't using the top link, we didn't have an implement on here, we could hook it up to here to hold it out of the way. These guys right here, these bars that are going to the back, try to point out a little better, running all the way across, they call these check links. So this is the pin you're going to pull out when you're hooking up your implements, because it gives this a little bit more of a sway. So once again, check link, and then also those check links have a big bolt kind of deal to them, so you can tighten them up or loosen them up. And then obviously same thing on the other side, there's another check link as well. Okay, so that's the back of the tractor. We got the 3-point arms and the control for it. And then they have some knobs here, but these are just going to be for inserts in case you want to add other things on there. If you look at the premium models, some of these are already filled up because they already have the premium setups to it. So from this side, you can see in the center of the seat there's that knob. That knob's actually going to be a control valve, almost like imagine a water hose for the 3-point arms. So if I were to turn it to the turtle to the right, all the way down to that lock, it actually shut it off and it'll close the valve. So reason for this guy is if you have a box blade on there and it's coming down too fast hitting the ground, you could slow it down, or it's going too slow, you could turn it up to the rabbit, right? And it'll speed up the 3-point arms in the back. Right next to it, you're going to notice this shows a no foot. This is actually a lever for your 2-wheel and 4-wheel, and there's a sticker right here showing you. So pulling it up is going to be 4-wheel drive, pushing it down is 2-wheel drive, and then this lever right here, you'll actually use your heel and you will use your foot, unlike this one, and you'll hold it down with your heel and it locks in your differential. So that's your differential lock. Coming up right to the other side of the dash, or I'm sorry, the dash to the side of the fender here, this orange lever is going to be actually your gear selector or your range selector. And this model has 3 gears, so we have a low, a medium, and a high, and then the end's going to be your neutral. So your low is going to be for, you know, the harder work. This is going to be a little more speed for you. You can still do loader work, but not the heavy stuff. And then the H is going to be for your top end speed, driving up down the road. So they always say this is going to be your loader work, this is going to be your mowing speed, and this is going to be your highway speed, right? That's what the letters. Okay. Same thing on this foot rest here. On the other side, we showed the pedals. On this side, just going to be your brake. There's 2 pedals because you can lock in one side or the other. And then there's a little latch that locks them both in. So it's just going to be together like a car would be, right? And then the e-brake on this is actually a hand lever. And that's locked in right now. So to release it, I just press down on the pedals and it releases. Okay? And then obviously that beeping's telling you, hey, turn your e-brake on. Coming up the dash right here, on the left-hand side, we have our blinkers. You got hazard lights, headlights, all that good stuff there. So as far as the seating area, well, actually, let's see. Let's get the seat in here. Just like a car, you got the seat, right? You can slide it forward and backwards. And then obviously you got the seat belts, and they got the retractable seat belts on there for you. And then these seats are premium seats. So they got the LS stitching, they're real tall in the back, and they also have a tilt forward and backwards. So you have a lever here if you want to have a little more distance, you're a taller guy or taller lady, okay? So we got the seating area. I showed you the back of the tractor. We talked about the PTO, the 3-point arms, all that good stuff there. Without getting too specific, I just like to point this out just because I'm asked a lot. These painted cap right here, that's going to be your hydraulic. There's a little rod in here that gives you a gauge so you can actually see the level there, but that's how you're going to check your level for your hydraulic fluid. Coming around this side, we had talked about the console and stuff. These bars coming over the top, that's your roll bar, or they call ROPS or ROPS. So that's your safety deal. You can't take the top half off. Obviously we don't recommend it, but if you're trying to get inside the garage or something, it gives you a little more clearance there. We got the whole console here. Now coming up to the front, let's go into the loader now. So this loader it is a quick attach loader, and there's kind of two quick attach setups to it. Quick attach, what I mean by is you can actually take the loader off. There's just two pins. You have a pin here, same idea on the other side. Once you pull these pins out, the loader's free essentially, except these hydraulic couplers, and you got 4 quick hydraulic couplers as well, and they just pop right off. They're all quick connect. So once you disconnect these and these 2 pins, your backhoe's free, or I'm sorry, your loader is going to be free. And then also the loader has legs on it as well, so when you do take it off, there's a way to mount it up and it holds itself up itself. And then on that loader they have this bar here, which is going to be an indicating rod for your loader to make sure it's level. So when you have the bucket on there, you're wondering if your bucket's level, you could look right here, and when this crevice hits that line there, it's telling you bucket's level. And then the other part I was talking about for quick attach is right now we have the pallet forks on it, and the quick attach setup is made so you can put your pallet forks or whatever implement quick from here to your bucket back and forth. And the cool thing about having this bucket off right now is I can give you exact diagram of what's going on here. So the loader itself, if you notice this black frame right here, this is attached to the tractor. It's got these 2 pins. It's attached to the tractor. It stays in the tractor. Also with these handles, right? And this bar. It's all one piece. The implements are just going to have this lip on it. And let's go over to this bucket. You're going to see the same idea. The tractor has a flange on that slides underneath, and then when you lift it up, it'll sit flat, and that handle, we're going to drop down, and it's going to drop a pin in that hole. So you get right here, you can see that little hole that's in this implement, which is the pallet forks, and here's that pin. So if I were to pull this pin up, pulls the pin out of the hole, and the bottom's free. The only thing holding it is this top lip. So you're just going to curl the loader out from underneath it. Same idea, when you pick it up, you'll hook it, you'll lift up, and then you can just drop the pin right back in. Okay? So that's going to be the MT226 economy. We did the front seat, we talked about the back, we talked about the front loader. Let's see, the only other thing I can really point out, just to kind of give you some quick show, is this guy right here is going to be your hood opener. There's a push button here, so that's how you open the hood on this one. And I always like to talk about this just because if you never use a tractor, it's something you might not even realize. When you're out mowing fields or doing any kind of work, this is a tractor. You're in the dirt usually, or in grass, so it's going to fill up with debris, and if you clog this up, it's going to overheat your tractor. So one thing you want to pay attention to is the temperature gauge on your tractor. If it starts to overheat, it could first be these screens here. So if you got thick grass, start there, turn the tractor off and dust them off. Secondly, check inside here on this screen and make sure it's not filled up. If it is, they did a good job here and made a quick screen for you. There's a little knob that you unscrew right here. Once you unscrew that knob, you just slide this straight out. So if you're out in the fields, what you're going to do is raise the loader up, turn your tractor off, so when you lift up the hood, that screen, you could slide it right out the side here. But essentially, this is stopping all that grass and dirt getting into the radiator. So when you're working out in the fields, you're most likely going to be able to dust this off a couple times and move on. Thick grass, you might do it 4 or 5 times. Sometimes you can work out in the field and just dirt. You don't have to do it all, but pay attention to it. Secondly, when you get back to the shop or the house, you want to take this screen out and blow it out backwards, because that's where all the dirt's going to get in there in that radiator and clog you up. And then same idea, there's this little metal part right here too. That's going to be a radiator in a sense, but just for your hydraulic. So you want to make sure that is clean as well. And then the next part to look at, which will be most likely the last resort, unless you're in really, really dirty conditions, this is where the dirt's going to try to climb into in this filter here. And that's going to be your next spot you want to check. So if it's overheating, you're like, everything looks clean and clear, maybe check this filter. And obviously check that thing every day after you're done working. So that's just the main parts. We're not going to go through everything, but I just wanted to give a quick layout of what it'd be like we drop the tractor off at your house. And then usually what I ask the customer, if they have any questions, let me know. So same idea for you. If you guys have any questions, put them down below and we'll respond to them. Thanks.